I am involved in the National ABE to Credentials Initiative, which builds on work we've done in New England around college and career readiness for low-skilled adults who are not yet in the pipeline to enter college, much less complete it, but could be. And there are millions of US-born and immigrant Americans here who have very low-skilled, who below high school level, who are young and older adults who could really be on their way to post-secondary education and training, but we need to fill a big skills gap and an aspirations gap and a financial gap for them. The adults we're working with, for the most part, are now enrolled in adult basic education courses, either at the secondary level or below, or in English for speakers of other languages. But frequently they don't have aspirations to go beyond that. So part of the task is to really build those aspirations and the college and career readiness. They don't have any time to waste or money to waste. They need really a good sense of where the good jobs are, what kind of training it takes, what are the credentials. And so the goal of this national initiative is to really work at the policy and practice level at 11 states to bring this very marginalized system of adult basic education into alignment with credit-based community college and technical college programs, so that we really create efficient pathways for low-skilled, low-income adults to get the education they need that really leads to decent jobs for them.
Can you give me an example of a policy change that you've been working on that you see might have some impact in this?
Well, one big issue for low-income adults who have families and sometimes work two jobs is simple affordability. Even with tuition, you have the opportunity cost of not working, you have transportation, you have childcare. So looking at financing, how do you make financial aid available, for example, for adults who can only go less than half time? So there's a financial aid policy issue that can be addressed usually at the state level. At an institutional level, there are often scholarships that are earmarked for high school students, but GED recipients may not be eligible. So there's a finance issue. There are issues around access in terms of, well, let's say assessment and placement of adults, of are you placing into development education, credit education, or adult basic education. Those policies at an institutional level and possibly state level really need reform so that adults, again, get the supports they need and the placement that doesn't waste any time in lots of developmental ed classes. A specific example is if adults score just below the cutoff line to get into college level courses. That's where they could really benefit from support and flexibility in the placement policy to go right into college credit-bearing courses.
Are there ways that you're working together with outside the education system with business partnerships or community that would lend itself to more supports for students being career ready?
Well, in the AB2 Credentials Initiative that's just launching, the 11 states are very much bringing in industry partners as designers, co-designers of career pathway curricula. Many of them will involve internships or other ways of getting real-life experience, real-world experience outside of the campus. So employers are important partners. There's also a lot of potential for trying to get employers to provide release time for their employees to attend college or otherwise make it possible and even promote that. Many employers have tuition reimbursement, but it's not really promoted for their lower skilled workers. It's generally earmarked for middle management. So with some encouragement, those employers could really help their lower skilled workers to access that tuition reimbursement. And again, both the employer potentially and the worker would benefit. I think the employers who will come on board are the ones who see their self-interest, who need workers who are skilled, who can see that the career pathways that the community colleges have to offer yield adults who are prepared to do well in the jobs they have to offer. So in the ABE to Credentials initiative, really the pathways have to be driven by the local labor market demand and the data of where the jobs are and where they will be, to the extent that anybody will know that can know that.
We heard a little bit today about disruptive innovation, that maybe there's alternate ways to be credentialed. Is that something you've been thinking about at all?
I think it's a fascinating idea, and I would love to see somebody implement it. I don't know of anyone that has implemented it. I don't think it has been. But it has incredible potential, particularly for working adults who, again, really need to make their college stay efficient and affordable. So I do hope that somebody underwrites piloting of that sort of model. I think the adult basic education really is the next frontier as far as adults who are working adults who we need to help become more skilled, both for the sake of their livelihoods and their families, their children, and local and national economy. We are, our population is aging. The workforce of the future, of the very near future, really will not be replenished by high school graduates as much as it will be replenished by the adults who are already in the workforce. And many of those adults don't have the skills they need to hold on to the jobs they have or the jobs that will be there.